Thank you, John, and welcome to all of our SPJ friends this morning. I want to, before I start my comments, also point out we have 4 faculty members, actually 5 with Jonathan, who started the proceedings, but Deborah Douglas, Kathy Jesse, Jeff McCall, and Samuel Outman are all very outstanding journalists who teach at DePauw, and we're glad to have you here this morning as well. I am honored to speak today as a DePauw graduate who was initiated as an undergraduate into what was then Sigma Delta Chi, and then spent nearly 20 years as a professional journalist before returning to DePauw to serve my alma mater. As we've heard, we are sitting and standing on what is hallowed ground for a vital part of our republic and our world, the pursuit of truth. In 1909, SPJ was founded right there in that room behind me over my right shoulder. 10 DePauw student journalists created what remains the nation's most broad-based professional organization for journalists. Their idea, and the idea today, was to support a truthful, honorable press, one not dominated by commercialism, and to do that by planting journalistic ideals in student newspaper men and women. Within a few years, Sigma Delta Chi had spread to a dozen other campuses and eventually became the influential voice in American journalism, professional and on a college level, that it is today. In April 1967, that's 52 years ago, this 14-foot bronze and stone monument was dedicated. It was an event that received national coverage from the Associated Press. Eugene Pulliam, a 1910 graduate and one of SPJ's founders, stood right here for the dedication on that day. The world needs him and more Barney Kilgores and James B. Stewarts and Jack McWethies. They're all DePauw graduates, especially now. When I was in college almost 40 years ago, you needed a broadcast tower or a printing press to reach people in a broad way. Well, today, as we know, each of us has the potential power of the CBS News or New York Times, but are we each up to the task? Would you buy your dinner from the side of the road? Maybe so if it's fresh produce. You'd likely give it more thought if it was an unrefrigerated pork chop on a 90-degree day. We need to be discriminating consumers of information, weighing what we read, see, and hear, and seeking background and context. Face value is that pork chop in the sun. I would advocate today that we need in our schools at an early grade to teach students media, how it works and how news is gathered. Apart from partisan politics and away from the noise, I believe we need to teach people to take a step back when they read or hear something, anything, and ask, what is the source? Do they have a bias? Are there other sources reporting this information? We mandate driver's education, important to be sure, but what could be more vital than an engaged and inquisitive citizenry? Simple questions, whether asked by reporters or the people who consume their work, matter more than ever in 2019. May SPJ enjoy a new vitality as the years go by and continue to serve as a voice and an advocate for truth. Thank you very much.